another PowerPoint, and this is kind of like one that you can use to basically to work things out for yourself, to kind of go through a short process, and then I'll be able to give you feedback on these sort of steps as we go through. So basically, there's all these prompts. So instead of an essay question, we've kind of got like sort of topics. So the topics are there, and then the prompts are kind of what you might think of more as similar to an essay question, not exactly the same. But a good family sets you up in life. The characters face many culture clashes. So in The Outsiders, that'd be like gang versus gang. In Bend It Like Beckham, it would be, gender, racism, those sort of things. Friendships, they help each other. The Outsiders, you might even say no, they don't help each other. Sometimes they're really bad for each other. All those sort of things. But you pick ones that you want to do. You might want to discuss it with other people, because some will be harder than others. Obviously, societal views, homosexuality, gang membership, racism, that'll be a little bit more difficult to do, a little bit more kind of, negative, sensitive topics to discuss, not negative topics, but challenging topics for what happens in the book and the movie. So you pick 2 prompts. Each paragraph gets a different topic, a different prompt, a different idea. This is the rough structure. So I think I've got examples, but we're just going to use what, how, and why. So what happened, how was it shown in the book or the movie, and why did the person, the author, the movie director do that? So there's a super long example of what it might look like, and I've probably got a whole bunch of example essays when we get to that point. But basically, you'll go to this slide, you'll use these prompts, this structure to kind of roughly say what you want to say. It's not super prescriptive, but just to give you some ideas. Reading this example might give you some ideas of the way your sentences might like to be structured. They don't need to be, of course, the same as this, but something like that would be good. This is our super long example paragraph that is probably written by me, so it's probably a little bit too show-offy and overly fancy, but gives you some ideas. And this is kind of like if you need super duper lots of support, you can just kind of sort of finish these sentences off and do it that way. This is obviously a bit less creative, but should make it a lot easier. Because we've talked a fair bit about Hinton and we did our whole annotation and we read the book in detail, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. But if you're sort of stuck for ideas, you might want to talk about montages, which is, anytime they're training all the sharp cuts of things. The soundtrack, and you can use Shazam to pick songs if you really want. Diluted sound during the soccer match, so when they play soccer it gets really quiet. And editing to create a juxtaposition between the wedding celebration and the soccer match. But basically, the scenes that you've analysed, this will be really useful for those. And that is essentially the structure